We don't want it. We don't need it. LNG export.
We don't need it.
We are over here fighting the LNG proposal that they're talking about bringing to our city. You all need to get here, okay?
We don't want it.
We don't need it.
We don't need it.
Get up, and we have got to
LNG exports.
Hi, we're here today united with the people from Chester and with Circle to say we don't want an LNG facility in the Delaware River watershed. We don't want any Delaware River community to be saddled with a polluting and highly dangerous liquefied natural gas plant that they want to send here. This task force thinks that they can tell everyone else what to do. Well, they can't. They're not coming to Chester. They're not coming to the Delaware River communities that go up and down the southeastern part of Pennsylvania. They're not coming to the Delaware River ports at all. It's highly dangerous. It doesn't make sense. People don't need more pollution, and we need economically sound and clean energy, not dirty LNG. My name is Tracy Carluccio. I'm Deputy Director of Delaware Riverkeeper Network.
So the community for any hearing with this Pennsylvania LNG exports has been totally locked out of giving any testimony and presenting our side of why it should not be. This is a highly populated area. It's only 5 miles in Chester. You're talking about putting something, the largest gas plant on the East Coast, right in the middle of this community. And we recently discovered, as of 2-3 days ago, there's a proposal by Good America to take homes. We're already in a housing crunch. What they're talking about putting here is going to sit on 100 acres. So there's essentially no buffer, period. You're going to literally be on our top of our heads. There is no emergency management in the city of Chester for something like that, or in Delaware County. So in the event that there is an eruption, pipeline burst, they have a vaporization when they're loading up the tanker, or one of the storage tankers that they hold this material in erupts. There's no way that we can evacuate this community. This is for our very survival. And what we're saying is, yes, we need economic development, but we want economic development that every other freaking community fights for. We want it to be competitive. And if it's so great and so freaking wonderful, the people that sit on these committees and on this task force, why aren't they fighting for it for their community? Fight for it. You talk about economics. Why are you denying your community this thing?
Tell me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
We don't want it. We don't want it. We don't need it.
We don't need it.
LNG export.
LNG export.
Need to beat it.
Needs to be there.
So we're really here to make very clear that we want no LNG export facilities anywhere within the Delaware River watershed. And we are going to stand strong and firm against no LNG anywhere.
We ain't going to tear the bricks out the building. I find that to be very offensive. Their security.
Oh,
If I want to tear the bricks out, I do it.
So
Right the hell in front of y'all.
So right now, because that's not very important.
No, like what they gonna do?
We are being allowed in.
But that's reflective of the relationship that Widener has with this community. Okay? They here, but every time you see Widener, you see Widener University. 1-800. They ain't never Widener University, Chester, VA.
But they
Own
can
your
pick and
home.
choose who they
that's
want.
right. And they just send, you know, we're
Real
powerful.
quick. I have no idea.
So we're really encouraging.
today at the third public hearing of the Philadelphia LNG Export Task Force. And we welcome the great turnout. We really appreciate everyone being here today. All right, so we will get started today. We have joining us Carl Morera, the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association. I'd like to thank you for being here today.
So we're the statewide nonprofit trade organization representing the people who make things here in the Commonwealth. Everything from Chinook helicopters just a few minutes from where we are sitting, to iconic Zippo lighters in the northernmost part of our Commonwealth, to steel, glass, plastics, food, candy, and more. So we use Implan to see what projects would mean for economies to urge policymakers to work with our many vital industries to ensure manufacturers locate, hire, and expand here in our Commonwealth versus a competitor state. So over the 4 years, the construction of the facility would support a total of 28,249 direct, indirect, and induced jobs. This totals more than $2.3 billion in labor income, $2.8 billion in gross state product or value added, and $4.8 billion in total output. Over the 4 years of construction, the tax obligation would be around $527 million in total, with 80 of that going to the state, 390 to federal, and the remaining to local governments. The full-time ongoing operations at the facility consists of 204 industrial gases manufacturing jobs. The ongoing operations of the plant would directly support the employment of 514 positions. The additional 310 jobs are mainly in the area of natural gas production. These 514 jobs would support 1,280 indirect jobs, again in those business-to-business transactions, and 1,205 induced jobs. Each year, the labor income from these combined 2,999 jobs would total $432.5 million and add $1.5 billion in gross state product with an altogether output of $2.5 billion. Each year the plant is operational. This is not just a snapshot in time. This is not a 4-year project. This would be each year that the plant is in operation. And the monetary totals would likely increase year over year due to inflation.
Representative, the next question will come from Toby Rice.
Carl, thanks for that work. Just to be clear, real quick, the analysis you did would assume a 1 BCF a day facility. That's correct.
Feedstock.
That's right. So for people's perspective, Pennsylvania produces about 35 BCF a day and has the capability to produce an additional 20 to 30 BCF a day on top of that. LNG will be the pathway for us to do more. You put a lot of real numbers that sound really big. I was wondering if you could just sort of summarize the economic impact in the construction phase of in the maintenance phase. How should we think about it, real simple, the summary of total benefits and taxes?
Yeah, so there are a lot of big numbers, and that's why on the next, I think it's page 9 in your report, there's a project impact kind of map, it's an infographic, and it lists all those really big numbers. Ultimately, what this comes down to is that this means jobs and significant tax revenue for an area of the Commonwealth that desperately needs it. And not only does this part of the Commonwealth desperately need it, but we have foreign allies overseas that are very, they're struggling because of the geopolitical nature of what's going on in Russia, in Saudi Arabia. And we have the potential to do something here to sustain 32,000 jobs in Pennsylvania. Take a Pennsylvania natural resource where we extract this resource in a cleaner, more environmentally friendly manner than anywhere else in the world, and send it to those allies overseas. Ultimately, that's what this is about. This is about employing good, hardworking Pennsylvanians and making Pennsylvania an actual energy leader on the world stage.
And the opportunity here, I mean, those jobs are going to translate to what will be billions on the construction and direct and indirect billions per year during the maintenance of this plant, the operation of the plant. And you said the taxes, how should we think about the tax impact?
So the tax impact, if you look at the total 5 years, like if you were to take a 5-year snapshot, and I'm assuming 4 years for construction and 1 year of operation, the total tax impact would be $714 million in taxes paid. The ongoing taxes, like year over year, for the yearly operations, total $183 million. So it's the indirect and the induced, and the way that I view indirect and induced are community builders. These are, I mean, and I truly mean it whenever I said at the beginning, these are economy changing or economy sustaining level projects. So yeah, the direct jobs, and you'll notice in the indirect and induced jobs that are kind of kicked off in the construction phase, that's a little bit less than what the sustained operations from the manufacturing operations are. And that's normal, that's anticipated. But that's because you have both upstream and downstream activity happening in the manufacturing sector, when in the construction phase, those operations are one time, 4 years in nature, and then they go to hopefully what's going to be the next big project. Because a lot of times when you have projects like this, others will follow. And other manufacturers are going to site around where that feedstock is located, or where the access to the natural gas pipeline infrastructure is. So you're going to see economy-sustaining projects around this. So the way that I would look at those induced and the indirect jobs are truly what sustains, what makes whole communities here in our Commonwealth.
All right, thank you very much, Carl. We're going to call up our next testifier. Zulaine Mayfield, would you please come to the front here?
Welcome to our city. I'm sure that it is the first time most of you have been into our beautiful community. Finally, you have come to hear what community people in the community that you've been talking about for months and months and months finally has representation at the table, so that we can speak and you can hear us clearly as to the desires of what we desire for our community.
Thank you very much for that. I just want to remind the audience to please remain courteous to our testifiers. We need to, I would like to be able to move through this smoothly, and if we could not have any delays, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you kindly.
So now to the matter at hand, the plan to bring an LNG to the city of Chester. By the very makeup of this committee, with representation from Philadelphia, representation from Williamsport, representation from the gas and fracking industries, representation from the state, you have union representation, and etc. What is missing from this committee is any representation of our governance from Delaware County. In the county that would be most affected. This committee is stacked with individuals that would have the most to benefit financially from a proposal such as this. This LNG task force has not allowed public testimony from communities from community scientific experts and others that would enhance the education of the legislators. In my opinion, the report would not be a true reflection of all affected parties on all issues. Never before has Philadelphia included Delaware County in any sort of economic regional development plan. But now you want to do something. Why? Is this an attempt to keep this gasification plant out of Philly? My understanding is that Philadelphia wants no parts of this facility. It was rejected 3 times. If this is such an economical plus for communities, why aren't members, task force legislators, fighting tooth and nail to have it and have that economic development in their communities? Why would you deny your communities all of this wealth? Make me understand that. Every community wants to be economically, every community wants to be healthy, every community wants to reap the benefits of all this economic growth. And I'm not understanding why the legislators that are on this committee aren't fighting for it. Why would you deny your constituents all of these benefits? Write your report as you will, but there are a whole lot of people in Delaware County, which includes the city of Chester. You know, in Delaware County, we have a saying. We are Delco strong. That means a lot of different things. I am glad to see that our Delaware County Council did issue a response to this task force. I think that it was disrespectful to come into this community today and not acknowledge the governance of which we sit under. There have been many attempts to have people speak on this committee, and they were essentially shot down by the chairperson who makes those decisions. But that's okay. That's okay. So the plan is underway for Penn America. We all know that it's Penn America. Let's stop playing the games. To bring a liquefaction plant to Chester. Repeatedly, committee members, including the chair, stated that Chester specifically has been targeted for an LNG by Penn America. So to try and state that Chester isn't the target, it's not being honest, and it's not being open with the public. Proposed, it would be the largest LNG terminal on the East Coast. Chester is 5 miles. 5 miles with roughly 33 to 36,000 people, a very densely populated area. The Elba Island LNG sits on 840 acres of land. The Calcasieu, and I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, Pass, another comparable LNG, sits on 1,000 acres of land. Cove Point sits on 1,000 acres of land. Yet Penn America has proposed to you all that they intend to produce just as much as 2 of these other LNG facilities. And they're going to do it on 100 acres of land.
Make it make sense.
It don't make no sense. They have given you a proposal where Penn America would create a buffer for this community. However, the buffer would be in displacing homes, businesses, and churches. 805 homes to be exact, 4 churches, a daycare, and numerous businesses, and in fact, possibly the local 413 building. We are not making these figures up. We didn't put with it. First of all, that's not what I do, and that's not what Sophie does. Our facts are correct. These are facts that were provided to you all from Penn America LNG as part of their proposal. So either they're not going to have a buffer zone, which is an issue, and or they're going to have a buffer zone by taking the very thing that our state rep Kazim told you that we were in need of, which is affordable housing. So you're going to take away housing, you're going to take away the established businesses that are already operating in our city and have been for years. You're going to take away our houses of worship and a damn daycare. We say no. You have to understand the perspective of the community. We are not anti-capitalists. We are pro-survivalists. And we will survive any decision that you all, are trying to make about our lives and the lives of our children and the survival of our community. Do we need economic development? Years ago, the older people used to say, all money is not good money. And we will not accept this money. And we will not tolerate this money. So local 420, steam fitters unions, God bless you, educated, y'all in the greater Northeast Philly. You should be advocating for Martina White, of who you contribute to that. You should be advocating that she make sure to get up there with y'all. That's what should happen.
Zerlene, I just want to ask you to please do not impugn the motives of the task force members.
I'm not impugned, I'm saying facts. These are facts.
Let's just be respectful. And
is it not a fact that he's a high contributor to you?
Ma'am,
okay.
I
we'll put it out there. I appreciate it.
Please be respectful.
That's why we're not going to play it. It cannot be done. I'm going to speak the facts as they stand. Okay? We have to understand, hold on y'all. We have to understand the motivations and the people who have teeth in the game to make sure that this thing is trying to be cited in the city of Chester. We are not anti-capitalist. Every day, Pennsylvania extracts their fracking material out of its grounds. Every day it gets shipped to Texas and Louisiana. So don't come telling us that this is the only way. That poor little us in the city of Chester who have nothing to gain from this. Nothing. Are going to be the saviors of the world. We got one job. We are our capital. And we will protect ourselves. No matter what. That is our job. That is our desires for this community are not unlike any other community. We want to live cleanly. We want to live safely. We want to provide education for our children. We want to own and buy our homes. And we want to be at peace. Amen. Because of the assaults and the environmental genocide that has been conducted on this community. Are we angry? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you all talk in terms of statistics. We know these statistics. 2 weeks ago, I buried my cousin at 51 years of age from prostate cancer. The same week we buried him, I got word that a 43-year-old man died from brain cancer. I know 30-year-olds in this community that had been double mastectomies because they have breast cancer. 30 years of age. 30 years of age. The APM talking about the abstract figures, we know the figures. We know the figures that PEN America has put out on their own perspectives. They're talking about from the year 2023 to the year 2043 that they would produce $13 million in revenue for the city of Chester. The other day, I heard a hearing, they were talking about 30, 40 million. So where's the line at? This is their documentation. You talking $700,000, $600,000 for 20 years? Never mind. We'll have none of that. And more importantly, let me make this clear. Our bodies, the health of our community will not be prostituted for pollution, for no LNG, for no incinerator. Your money, we don't need it. Bro.
Thank you very much. We're going to have Stefan Rhodes, City Councilman. If you could please provide us with your testimony today, we would greatly appreciate it.
Greetings to the Philadelphia LNG Export Task Force, Chair White. Welcome to Chester. Thank you for the opportunity to testify at this important hearing. I am Chester City Councilperson Stefan Rhodes. There are 35,000 reasons I don't want a liquefied natural gas export facility operating in Chester. As a Chester elected official, I take public health and public safety very seriously for the 35,000 residents I represent here. Considering an LNG plant in densely populated Chester concerns me and many of us for several reasons. From what I'm reading and what came across my desk, the last time the federal government wrote EPA regulations for LNG was 1980. Chester's history from the incinerator proves that if LNG regulations are updated sometime in the future, those new regulations will have no bearing on the Chester LNG facility being designed right now to meet 1980 pollution standards. New polluting industries are not welcome in Chester. The health and safety of Chester residents have been compromised by local industry for too long. What we don't want is to have to breathe a new batch of particulate matter. NOx, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfuric acids, and naturally occurring radioactive materials from the LNG plant because our residents are sick. We exceed in every measurable health disparity. Asthma, birth defects, COPD, infant mortality, heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and a shorter life expectancy. However, Chester's geographic assets are perfectly suited for attracting population growth. LNG will discourage new investment in homes and businesses. An LNG terminal will result in population depletion. Who would take the risk to move to a small city with a big LNG export terminal down the street? This is clearly a NIMBY situation, not in my backyard.